Get through this? Yeah. Oh, you got through? Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. All right, wonderful. Okay, all right. Now, I said to get your all pens and paper tonight. And hi, Sophie. Get pen and paper and learn about the 8 method therapy. Going to save somebody's life. Yeah? Learning about herbal medicine. So I'm going to teach you tonight how to function with the 8 method therapy and how they work. All right, we on another program, but the program is not up yet. There's so much scammers and thieves and yeah. Yeah, we just came back from a little trip, you know. Yeah, a lot of people have kidney disease. Give thanks and praise to the Most High. Well, we in herbal medicine school, as I said before, we have lots of fake pages showing up on our posts and our videos. So we don't want to keep the videos up for too long. We're going to take them down, put them in the archives. Yeah. Matthew Remedy, fake. Wanda Sanchez, fake. Patrick Dell's Holistic Healing, fake. Patrick Dell Natural Healing Home, fake. Patrick Dell Live Stream, fake. Christian Patrick Dell's fake. Fake pages. So be aware of these people, okay? Alright? Because they all have my pictures up also. So be aware. And don't forget, FaceTime these people. So they can't fool you all and take you all money. Because people are losing $215, $400 to these scammers. Okay, so be very careful, alright? Okay? But tonight, we're going to teach you about the 8 method therapy and how it works. Because with the 8 method therapy, it's according to what happened to the body. Yeah? Once you can practice these therapies, if you have any disease, you can use these therapies to remove a disease from the system. How it works. But first, we're going to go and check on the skin. And we're going to come back to that, to the 8 method therapy, okay? Now, lots of people have eczema. They have injury to the skin. They have chemicals they have that affect the skin. They have psoriasis and all these kind of skin troubles. Now, let's look at what is the function of the skin. The function of the skin is to protect us from injury, light, chemicals, extreme temperature, and microorganism, because the pH of the skin in the inner layer is 5.2, 5.3 acidic. Yeah, and that's the reason why we have to keep this area of the skin acidic, because it will remove all these toxins. Yeah. So we're looking at the sebaceous gland, looking at the hair, we're looking at the capillary, the sweat glands, the muscles, you know, the oil and the collagen, they all are important in keeping the skin healthy. Yeah. Now, let's look at patterns of skin diseases, and it's one is psoriasis, and this here is what we call an autoimmune disease. Very difficult to fix that psoriasis, that is. Patches on the skin, patches on the head, and that's because the immune system is overactive and causing these diseases to form on the skin because of psoriasis. Eczema is similar, but eczema is more an allergen, and eczema mostly comes from what we call leaky gut syndrome. Once you have leaky gut and you have foods leaking out of the gut, you are more prone to getting skin troubles like atopical eczema, or to be called dermatitis, right? Inflammation of the skin, because they're all inflammation. And once you have irritation, you're going to cause inflammation. Acne is also a pattern of a disorder of the skin, and impetigo, which affect infants and toddlers. and that's the face become red with all these, and it's very contagious also, and warts and herpes. This one comes from women who have HPV virus. So if you are a woman and you have the HPV virus and you have the 16 strain, you can get warts. All right. There is a way we can remove the warts of the skin. We can use sea salt. If the warts come up on the skin, you can get some sea salt and you can rub it on the wart and bind it with a banana skin, and the warts drops off. Yeah. Or we can use another herb called Tuja, Tuja, and that will help the wart to drop off also. Okay, so those are things that we have to learn in herbal medicine when we have troubles in the skin. All right, there's a few herbs we look for the skin: blue flag, yellow root, millet thistle, blessed thistle, self-heal, horsetail, and burdock seed. If they have skin troubles, we're gonna go to those in a while. And usually, when you have troubles in the skin, we go to what we call the antimicrobial plants, because those are the plants that deal with infections that coming in and affecting the skin. So we have to use the antimicrobial plants. Those are like chickweed and garlic and marigold and echinacea and onions. Those are what we call antimicrobial plants. So once you have trouble in the skin like eczema and you're going to use some plants, you have to use the plants that have an antimicrobial effect, yeah, on the body, so that you can get rid of the infection, right? So that's herbal medicine school. Let's go over here now. Now we're going to do the 8 metatherapy first, because we're doing a 60-day program. 60-day cancer prevention program. It's free. I am not going to put it up on my website because people is downloading the program and go and sell it. And it's not for sale. It is for free. All right, don't forget. Wonderful. And it's kind of making me don't want to do a lot of things, because when I'm giving you something for free, some people selling it. You know what I mean? It's not good. Bad. Wonderful. All right. Now, let's look at the 8 metatherapy. Yeah? The 8 metatherapy is very significant in a person who is suffering from a disease. Yeah? Now, put it here. Now, put it over here. Now, if you are sick, yeah, you need cooked foods. Follow me. So once you are sick, you have to tonify. You cannot stimulate. We're going to talk about that in a little while. Once you are strong, you need raw foods. Don't forget that. Or lightly steamed foods. But once you are sick, the sick person needs cooked foods. Because when you are sick, your organs are not working properly, especially the earth system called the digestive system. So you have to cook the foods now, not cook all the nutrients now, but you have to cook the foods so that your organs, which is not working well, can assimilate and can absorb the food. That's if you are sick. So don't forget, sick people need cooked foods and healthy people need raw foods. And that's where the 8 metatherapy comes in now. Come over here. Boom. Now, if you are sick, yeah, you have a flu, you have cancer, you have liver disease, you have high blood pressure, or you have troubles in your heart, yeah? So you have congestive heart failure, or you have left ventricle hypertrophy, or you have COPD, or you have lung cancer, yeah? Or you have any kind of troubles that is affecting the organ system or the blood system, we must tonify. We cannot stimulate, yeah? Because that organ is not functioning properly. So we must go into that organ and we have to tonify that organ. So that is the first method that we use. We call it tonification. And for tonification, we use what we call alternative plants. And what alternative plants do, they go into the body and they start to tonify the organ or organ that is sick to strengthen that organ. And once that organ is strong, we move from the tonification to the stimulation therapy. These are the herbs. They act as alternative plants. Raspberry leaves tonify the organ, especially a woman's uterus. So if a woman have uterine cancer, or if a woman have fibroids, or if a woman have ovarian cyst or follicles on the ovaries, or if a woman have a weak uterus or a prolapsed uterus, we can use the alternative plant called raspberry leaves to tonify and strengthen the uterus at the same time. Because this herb is called an alternative plant because it tonifies. This herb called raspberry leaves also tonify the digestive system if there is stomach cancer, if there is Crohn's disease, if there is IBS, if there is multiple gastritis, if there is ulcerative colitis, this herb will tonify the digestive system, upper and lower. It's called an alternative plant. So once we are tonifying the organs, we have to use the alternative plant. Don't forget them now, the alternative plants. And those are raspberry leaves, they are red root. The next one is called marshmallow, and one is called yarrow. Why yarrow and why marshmallow, Patrick? Because if you have troubles in an organ system, sometimes the tissues is being affected. So if the tissues of the organ is being affected, although these herbs are alternative plants, they also fall under the emulsient plants, which will soothe the tissues. See? So although we tonifying, we are also now soothing the tissues of the organ to get the organ well. Yeah? If the tissue of the organ is also inflamed, we're going to use some astringent plants. See? If there is bleeding in the stomach, or there is bleeding in the intestines, we tonifying, but we're going to use yarrow, which also is an astringent plant to stop the bleeding. So although we tonify the organ system, we are using plants to also work on tonifying or soothing the mucous membranes and also prevent bleeding, or also soothing the tissues with what we call the astringent plants. Astringent, yarrow, and the emulsient marshmallow. Now, red root is alternative and raspberry is alternative plants because they tonify. And this herb also works on the lymphatic system if it is clogged up also. So this is what we call tonification. We go to the next one now. Next one is called stimulation. Stimulation is significant because now we tonify the organs. And once the organs are strong now, we say, okay, now we're going to remove the sickness from the organ system. Yeah? So once the organs is strong, we can use herbs to stimulate the organ system so that that organ can remove the sickness, the disease that is in that particular organ. Panax ginseng, rhodiola, kola nut, katuba. A lot of them. So what we do is, once the organs are weak now, we go to the herbs and we stimulate the organs. If they're strong, we stimulate the organs. If there's trouble in the lung, we use a herb called, come over here, Prince Sing. So if you have a weak lung, we tonify the lung with some herbs. But when the lung becomes strong, we go and we use a herb called Prince Sing now to strengthen the lung so that the lung can move all the sickness from the lung. We call it stimulation. So these are the herbs we use to stimulate the organ system. When the organs are sick and we tonify the organs, and the organ becomes strong. We now go in and we stimulate them. And once these organs are stimulated, the sickness can never stay. And that's why I said before that when you have cancer, if the cancer overtake an organ and get that organ weak, in no way you can stimulate that organ, because you're going to collapse the organ because it is too weak to be stimulated. Yes, sir?
Definitely, yes.
So these herbs will stimulate the organs to throw off the disease, because the organ is strong, it's not weak. You can never go into a man's house if he's weak. Huh? If he's strong, you can never go into a man's house if he's strong and fight him. He's going to fight you back. But if that man is weak and you go into his house, yeah, you can tie him up, put him in a chair, put a tape on his mouth, take all his belongings, and get out of his house. But if that man is strong, he gonna fight you. The battle. You might win, you might lose. Take that too. Follow me now. Follow me. So it's the same principle in the body. Once the organs are weak, we tonify them. And once they are strong, we stimulate them. And once we stimulate them now, we can now throw off the sickness, because now the organs is like David with a big stone in his hand. Next one is called blood purification. You must purify the blood, because the blood is your life. And anybody go back in scripture will tell you that God said that once you're going to kill an animal, to eat that animal, you must drain the blood out, because the blood is the animal's life. And that's why eating blood pudding is dangerous, because eating blood pudding can give you leukemia. God knew why he told us don't eat blood, because he knew the blood is our life. But we take a tripe from a cow or an animal, and we put blood in them, we eat that because we didn't know better. And these same foods called blood pudding can cause you, the individual, to get troubles in your stomach, cancer that is, stomach cancer number 1, or leukemia number 2. So we did blood purification. These herbs will drench the organs that filters the blood. So in reality, there is no herb that cleans your blood. That is false information. There is no blood cleansers in the herbal kingdom. There are herbs that go in, and what they do is they go in and they keep that organ so clean, or they drench the organ, and that organ in turn will start filtering the blood. We call them filterers of the blood. Dandelion root is one of them. Burdock root is one of them. Blue flag is one of them. Yellow dog root is one of them. And the beautiful thing about this herb called yellow dog root, it has lots of iron, but it also helps the liver to absorb the iron. See? So these are the herbs that work on the organ system to help the organ system now to filter the blood. Liver, kidney, small intestines, large intestines, 4 filterers of the blood. And once the blood is filtered properly from toxins and acids, in no way you will have a disease, or if you do have a disease and you purify your blood and your organs could remove all the toxin from the bloodstream and acid from the blood, you can never ever get sick. Or if you do have a sickness, you're going to kick the sickness out of your house, because why? The blood is purified. So we call it blood purification. Dandelion root drenches the liver, helps the liver to remove environmental toxins. Burdock root and burdock seed also work as alternative, but they also help the blood, the organs to filter the blood. Blue flag is one of the best herb for the liver. It helps the liver to move toxins out of the liver, while this herb helps the liver to produce more bile, so that the bile could be dumped in the small intestines, so you could have a good bowel movement, the last bowel that is. And yellow rock root while yellow rock root is working on the liver. And it is also filtering the blood, the liver that is. This herb also helps the liver to restore or store iron, but it also helps the liver to filter the blood, to fix the skin when you have psoriasis and eczema and impetigo or any troubles in the skin. This herb called yellow rock root together. Yeah? These herbs drain the organs that filter the blood, but they're not blood cleansers per se. They work on the organs that filter the blood. And once the blood is purified, you will get rid of any sickness that you have, because the blood is your life. And the body pumps, how many gallons of blood per day? The body pumps 1,960 gallons of blood every day. No more, no less. Huh? And that blood must be pumping through the circulatory system by the heart. Blood purification. Next one is called emetic. Emetic, lobelia, ginger. These herbs, these two herbs or more, will induce vomiting while removing poisons. So instead of you putting your hand in your throat, you can just pop some lobelia, about 100 drops in a tincture form, or drink lots of ginger. And although ginger can stop vomiting, ginger can also induce vomiting if taken in large amounts. But lobelia is the best emetic plant on the planet. So once you have a poisoning internally, you can use charcoal to move the poison way down in the bowels, or you can use lobelia and ginger to bring up the poisons from the throat out of the system. We call it emetic. And these are the herbs you can use if you feel like you have poison, you've been poisoned, and you drink some of that. It makes you bring back up the poison, because it's emetic. Yeah, don't forget. Next one is called diuresis. And diuresis is important because we said before that the kidney is the water element of the body, and the liver is the wood element of the body, and the lung is the metal element of the body, and the heart is the fire element of the body. But the kidney, although it is the water element of the body, your kidney retains more water than the kidney chucks out, because we're supposed to remove 2 liters of urine per day as men, and women supposed to remove 1.5 liters of urine per day as women. But the kidney retains more water into the system, and where does the water goes? It goes into the muscles, and it goes into your liver. And that's why when you have liver cancer, your liver become big like that. They got to move the water out. See? In the muscles also. It's important when you have what we call sarcoma cancers. Let's go. Diuresis. So diuresis is telling us that we have to move the excessive amount of water that is in the system. So we go to what? We go to the water organ, or the water element. These herbs like dandelion leaf, corn silk, nettle leaf, uvaracy, these herbs will remove excessive amount of water while preventing potassium loss, because they are what we call potassium sparing diuretic, because they have potassium. These 2 herbs here, potassium, boron, calcium, potassium, calcium. But because they have potassium and they act as a diuretic to move the excessive amount of water, they move the water out, but God is so great, God make them put back the amount of potassium back into the system that we need. That's what we call herbal medicine. See? Teaching them tonight, ain't it?
That's right.
Who? Teachings. How to use the plants. So we call this diuresis. So, if you have congestive heart failure, meaning that you have water gathering around the heart because the kidney, which is the water element, is not removing the water because the heart is bad. Because the heart is fire and the kidney is water. Water out fire. So the kidney controls the heart. So if the kidney cannot remove the water because the heart is bad, the heart will say, my goodness, I cannot remove the water because I am not a water organ. I am a muscle that pumps the blood through the circulatory system. So he will retain the water. And he, the heart, supposed to send 25% of the blood that he pumps to the kidney, inferior vena cava, superior vena cava. From the brain coming with the blood down here from the superior vena cava, from the hepatic vein, from the liver, into the inferior vena cava. So, because the kidney needs the blood from the heart, if the heart is weak, and he can't pump the blood to the inferior or superior vena cava, then your kidney will suffer and says, oh my goodness, Patrick, I'm not getting enough blood from the heart because I control that muscle. So what happened to me? The kidney says, I can't get the water out because there's not enough blood from the heart for me to pump the water out. So I'm going to send the water to the heart. I'm going to send the water to your face. I'm going to send the water to your legs. I'm going to send the water to your ankles. I'm going to send the water all up here in an instant. See? But in dialysis, the head methatherapy, we go in and we tonify the heart and we tonify the kidney. And after we tonify, we go to the eighth methatherapy called dialysis. And we start moving the water out because now the heart is strong. Because if the water stays in your heart, it's going to go to the lung. Because the lung is not a water organ either. And he's going to send the water where? Nowhere else but in the same in the lung, you get what we call pneumonia. So the doctors give you diuretics. We give you that too. But we give you a herb called, go here, come here bro, called broom. And broom is used in the mixture if there is water in the heart, because it is what we call, it works on when you have what we call cardiac edema, water in the heart, broom. So the broom will help to move the water out of the heart, while the other herbs, dandelion leaf, corn silk, uvarasi, nettle, start to move the water from the kidney now. Because they work together. The body is one entity, only different parts. Yeah, bro? Dig that. We all herbal medicine school you all in today now. Dig that, man. All right? So this is what we call diuresis. So once your body starts swelling, if it's done from the cell membranes, we are going to go through the process of diuresis. And diuresis now going to move the excessive amount of water. But if there is troubles in the heart now, we're going to go and we're going to use some Horton leaf and flower. We're going to use some lily of the valley. And when the heart becomes strong enough, we're going to go in and use some foxglove. And when the heart is strong now, and your heart start pumping the blood through the circulatory system, and then your heart is giving your kidney the 25% of the blood that it needs, oh my goodness, the kidney start to move the water out, and you fix your heart, and you fix your edema. We don't give you no Lasix, thiazide diuretics, hydrochloride. We don't give you that because that make you lose all the potassium. Then they got to give you slow K to put it back. Let's go to tranquilization. Tranquilization is one of the 8 methatherapy. And when a person have troubles in the mind, or the mind is overactive, or the child have ADHD, or the child have autism, where the child cannot settle and can't focus, we tranquilize the child with these herbs. What these herbs do, Patrick? These herbs will relax the child or the adult mind when the child or the adult is hyperactive without sedating the child's mind. So we tranquilize without sedating. Because once we sedate, we're gonna make it become like a zombie. Watch me now, walking like that. Watch me now. When they give you Codentin and Haldol, huh? And all them old drugs they give on Ritalin that they give the children. What are they walking? That's what the drugs do, side effect of that drug, or all them drugs like that. So what they do is they sedate you with these drugs and make you become a zombie. See? But we don't sedate you, we tranquilize you, yeah? But we don't sedate you. Called tranquilization. Yeah? So kava, Californian poppy, valerian, passion flower. If you have what we call repetitious thinking and you can't sleep, passion flower will kind of, not sedate, but relax you with chamomile and make you have a good night's sleep. So this is called tranquilization. People who's overactive and they all hyper and they can't sleep at night. They can't focus. We have to tranquilize them. But when we tranquilize them, we don't sedate them. And in order for us to tranquilize them, we must go to the endocrine system, especially the adrenal glands. Yeah? And if the person is producing too much cortisol, that stress hormone, we calm them down by giving them oat straw or schisanda berry or ashwagandha. And we tonify the endocrine glands because they all work together. Pituitary, thymus gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid, ovaries, testicles, pancreas. They all work together. They all produce hormones and messengers. So they must send the right message to the system. Otherwise, we're in trouble. And that's why we are getting all these diseases, because we don't practice these therapies. Next one is called sweating. You must sweat. Why you must sweat? Because when you sweat, these herbs act as what we call diaphoretic plants. Diaphoretic plants mean they make you sweat a lot. Yarrow, spearmint, ginger, peppermint, cayenne pepper, lots of them. And what they do is they make you sweat so much that they help to wake up the lymphatic system. Yeah? These herbs help to remove toxins from the skin while waking up the lymphatic system. But if you have eczema or if you have psoriasis, these herbs should be used with caution, because eczema is also a heated disease. Heat, we call it in Chinese medicine. So once you have heat, like eczema and psoriasis, or impetigo, we have to use this herb with caution, or we remove a few of them and put in more common plants. Plants that have silicon, like horsetail. So you have to know how to use the herbs. And that's what I'm going to teach people every day. So these herbs, yarrow, these herbs like yarrow, spearmint, ginger, cayenne pepper, peppermint, they act as what we call diaphoretic plants. They help you to sweat. And when you're happy to sweat, they remove the toxins from the skin while waking up your lymphatic system, because your lymphatic system is also part of the immune system, and that is where you house your macrophages and your T lymphocytes. So sweating will help to wake it up and prevent you from getting lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymphatic system. One of the 8 method therapy. Last one is called purging, and this one is the key. This one over here is the key to all the other system. Purging. If you don't purge, you can contaminate the bloodstream. If you don't purge, you can kill your organ system. If you don't purge, you cannot filter the blood properly. If you don't purge, your liver will suffer, because the liver is very significant in the filtering the blood. So purging, Why purging? Because purging helps to keep the bowels clean. Save your life from cancer and gastritis and H. pylori and Crohn's disease, mucus colitis. All these itis they say can't fix. Inflammation. When you purge and you keep the area clean, all these other systems will work better because butternut, butternut, senapod, cascara, castor oil, dandelion root, yellow rock root. These herbs will remove waste material from the colon, helping the organ to breathe better. This is the key. So before you tonify, before you stimulate, before you can purify the blood, before you can create emetic, before you can sweat, before you can tranquilize, before you can go through the process of diuresis, you must purge. You must purge. Because if you don't purge your system, and if you don't remove waste matter, if you don't remove catechol and formaldehyde from the bowels, all these chemicals that can cause troubles in the organ system, if you don't remove them, diuresis will never work. If you don't remove all these toxins from the bowels, tranquilization will never work. If you don't remove all these toxins from the bowels, sweating will never work. If you don't remove these toxins from the bowels, emetic will never work. Temporary results you're going to have. If you don't remove waste matter from the bowels by purging, your blood will be contaminated because toxins and acid will get into the bloodstream if you don't purge. If you don't purge, you can never tonify the organs. And if you don't purge, you can never stimulate the organ system to throw off the sickness because there's too much waste matter sitting in the intestines. Come over here.
That's right.
That's what it is. Here we go. You must purge. If you don't keep him clean, what he does, he squeezes lots of the waste matter back in the walls into this hepatic flexure. And because this organ here, liver, depends on him, he squeezes the waste matter out because you're constipated. You're going to the bathroom once per week. You're going to the bathroom once per month. You are eating 3 meals per day. And you're going to the bathroom once per day. So you have 2 other meals sitting in the bowels. You can never stimulate the organ system. You can never ever tonify the organ system if you have waste matter sitting here. So once the waste matter sits here, he creates an acid terrain, and then the pH in here become 5.0, which is very acidic, and then he starts eating up the walls of the colon, and they call it Crohn's disease. And then so much waste is sitting over here, he goes into the diverticular, and he starts to put all these little waste in the pockets, and they call it diverticulitis. And then you have so much waste sitting in here, and all the bacteria said, or the bad guy said, oh my goodness, I'm going to get into the mucous membranes, and he started to go into the mucous membranes, and then the mucous membrane said, oh my goodness, don't come in, bad guy, you sit there too long, I'm going to send out some mucus to prevent you from coming in, and they call it mucus colitis. Dig that. And then all of a sudden, the waste is not going away. And he started to irritate intestines. They call it what? IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And still, you're not doing the right thing. He comes in the waste, come back in here, squeeze in the walls of the colon, go into the hepatic flexure, get into the liver, and the liver say, oh my goodness, oh, too much bad foods. He goes to the gallbladder, and the gallbladder say, oh my goodness, gallstones. Start to form your gallstones, they take out your gallbladder. Then all of a sudden, the gallbladder say, okay, I'm going to send all the waste back, not into the villi, back into the portal vessel, come back into the system, and give you gastritis. You get stomach cancer. Let's go, Sansa. That is what we call a breakdown of the 8th method therapy. So you must purge, and you must sweat, you must tonify, you must stimulate, You must deal with blood purification. You must tranquilize, and you must deal with diuresis according to the condition that you have. So everybody gonna take some herb and drink some herb and say, I drink the herbs, man. I'm drinking herbs. It doesn't work like that. You have to detoxify the organs. You have to put the organ in a state where they can be strong to remove a sickness. Because if you don't, you have cancer. The cancer will grow. You will never get better. And you're going to go take all the chemotherapy, which is a poison already. You're going to go and take the radiation, which is going to give you secondary cancers. You're going to take off the breast, take off your gallbladder, take out your gallbladder. But you're going to still have more troubles because you were not stimulating, you were not purging, and you were not tonifying your organ system. Here we go. Right. So, come here. We're gonna finish the night now, but we're gonna come back. What today is Monday, Son?
Yeah.
If God give us health on Wednesday or Thursday, and we're gonna finish up the 60-day program that we're on right now. I'm gonna give you all the information, what you gotta do for the days, and then you can follow that program for me. I'm not gonna put it up on my website because people is downloading these programs and selling them. I want it to happen. All right, when I give you something for free, it's for free. I don't want nobody selling it. You know, but you have all these scammers going on a website that download the program for free, they're going to sell it to you. So that's so good. All right? So we find out that we lost another sister today from cancer. We lost another sister again who came here too late. Chemotherapy she did. Radiation she did for breast cancer. She died Saturday. People are falling down and die. People are dying. And the younger people is dying faster. They falling down and dead. And people still ain't taking heed and cleaning the system out. They ain't taking no heed. We still want to drink a lot of alcohol and party all night and feel and eat in the nighttime. Restaurant full of us in the nighttime and feel we're going to stay well. You can't stay well that way. You're going to kill your organ system. You won't be able to purify your blood. The blood is your life. Yeah? Aruba, full of diabetics. Aruba, full of overweight people. Aruba, full of kidney disease. Kidney failure. They have three system over there. Shifts, 24/7. Dialysis. In the black community in America, same thing. Black people full of kidney disease. Why? Because we are not using the food as our medicine. Yeah? I'm teaching you. Practice the 8-method therapy. And once you practice the therapy properly, and you could be your own herbalist, and you could come to Ambrosia and say, listen, I need this herb, that herb, because I'm going to tonify. And I need this herb, that herb, this herb, because I'm going to stimulate. And you go home and you practice. And you go to your community and you teach someone else. Because at the end of the day, each one teach one. All right? And we're back in Grenada again on this weekend. Back home in Grenada. This is my last week. We just came from abroad. And we had some radio interviews. I spent about 4 days. And it's amazing to see people are looking to go another route. They're looking to change how they eat because they see people is falling down. Young people is falling down in their families, among them, even children, 18-month-old cancer in the brain. Neuroblastoma, sarcoma cancer is on the rise. Take heed because when it's hit into your house, you're going to say, if I listen to the Christ, the warning, give thanks. Patrick Dells, Natural Healing of the Body. Patrick Dells, HolisticHealing.com. So we're going to have the 60-day program again on Wednesday put up together. and you're going to mark it down because I'm going to take down the video and you can go and teach somebody else. Don't forget, keep on using herbs. Cancer is on the rise. Depopulation. Many shall come in my name, saying, I am here, and shall deceive many. There will be wars and rumors of wars, and pestilence in different places, and earthquakes in different places. I told you now. That's what the Christ said. So when you see these things happening, know that the time is near. Pestilence in different places. Viruses is all over the place. Pestilence. We taking no heed. Just like in the days of Noah, they was drinking and eating and giving in marriage until the flood came and washed them all away. Dig
That's
that.
right.
Yeah. And don't forget, Christy Dells have her anti-eczema, antifungal cream. Don't forget, go to Christy Dells' site and you're gonna, check out the Radiant Skin. She have clear skin. We have liver and skin. We have the antifungal, anti-eczema cream. Works wonderful, people, for children. Oh, see that again. Black Wall Street, 217. Oh, we're having a big seminar in Atlanta. It's going to be in the Black Wall Street Center. We're going to do the Blackness. Black Wall Street, they have a big center there. And we're going to have to go back to the Black Wall Street, how we used to be as black people, having our own hospitals, our own banks, our own restaurants in one place. We're going to have a big seminar on the 14th of January in Atlanta. We're going to have all the tickets sold, all the flyers out, and then you're going to come in and you're going to see how black people could unite together. You understand? We're going to have vendors there, and we have a big talk on the 14th of January, the day before Martin Luther King so-called birthday, because it's his birthday, and we're going to talk about the great brothers like Malcolm and others on that day, on the 14th of January in Atlanta. We're having a big seminar, and Shanti come with us too, innit?
Yes.
Yes, sir.